Well, it's been almost 20 years since the Angels' last doubleheader in Detroit, and so far so good. After a Game 1 win, we're back for Game 2. It's your Angels and the Detroit Tigers. The nightcap brought to you by Jack in the Box. The Cliff Notes from a brilliant opener today. Pair of home runs for Taylor Ward. Big day for Hunter Renfroe. And, of course, Shohei Ohtani's first career complete game shutout. We welcome you back after a quick turnaround with Mark Gubicza, Erica West, and Matt Vasgersian. What more can you say for Shohei Ohtani? Still doing things that he had never done before. Brilliant in the opener.
Matt, he was so efficient, especially early in the first 6 innings. As far as he had 66 pitches all the way through to his first career shutout for Shohei Ohtani. Just one hit allowed in the entire game. 8 punch-outs. He was a ground ball machine, and when there was any base runners at all, he was able to get some ground ball double plays. I'll tell you what, that fastball was great. We talked about the Tigers hitters struggling against fastballs, and Shohei used that more than at any point I've seen wearing the Angel uniform and pick up that first complete game for Shohei. But I'll tell you what, and he knew it, he felt it, the energy from the first pitch he threw warming up. We saw a smile on his face, to that smile on his face there to be able to shake Chad Wallach's hand. That's all you want to do, is be able to shake the catcher's hand, and he did that.
It had been about a year since an Angel had thrown a complete game shutout victory. Last time it happened before a few hours ago. It was the guy that's on the mound for Game 2, Patrick Sandoval. Last summer, brilliant here in Motown, a complete game 4-hit shutout. Struck out 9, didn't walk any in August of 22.
He threw the ball incredibly well in that game. Even coming last time out for Patrick Sandoval. In his career, he's got a 1.83 ERA against the Tigers, and you see how pumped up he was on that one. I expect him to do something special here in Game 2 with this doubleheader. The Angels are playing well. That middle part of the lineup did some damage. Moustakas, you mentioned, Renfroe, Taylor Ward, Rengifo continues, and Evan Moniak, another hit, 16-game history.
That's right. The win in Game 1 whittled the Angels' wild card deficit down to 3.5 games. If they sweep this doubleheader, they go to bed tonight just 3 back of an AL wild card spot. It's Game 2 up next. Angels and Tigers right after this. Great opener here in Detroit. Shohei Ohtani set the tone with his first career complete game shutout. 8 strikeouts, only 4 base runners allowed to the Tigers. 1 man getting only as far as second base. Ohtani in complete control, and on the other side of the scorecard, Taylor Ward with homers to both right and left field. A couple of big hits for Hunter Renfroe. More action off the bats of guys like Moniak and Moustakas. And it's a halo machine that is running at a very high level this afternoon. 1/2 game closer to a wild card spot. The Angels starting play for Game 2. 3.5 back. All the teams they're trying to run down are idle today. Again, only 5 games on the Major League schedule this afternoon. And the Angels and Tigers are participating in 2 of those. So, as we take a look at the Theodore Robbins Ford Angels starting lineup for Game 2, it's a lineup that's accounted for an American League best 157 home runs. And Zach Neto's back atop the card, batting number 1 at shortstop. Ohtani and Moniak follow. Ward, Moustakas, Matt Theisel catching bat number 6. Renfroe, Escobar, and Rengifo rounded out against a former first-rounder who's been very good after starting the season on the IL. He is right-hander Matt Manning.
Yeah, 91-96 with his fastball, about 48%. He'll throw a slider, curveball, and changeup. My go-to is to have success to be able to get this second game of the doubleheader here today and win all 3 here in Detroit. Is he got to get that sweet spot on his fastball. It's just a 250 batting average, though. He's allowed 3 of his 4 home runs versus and on his fastball. Make sure those breaking balls are strikes. He gets a lot of chases and swing and misses out of the zone with his slider and curveball.
Well, Zach Neto was hoping to be back for Game 1 of this series on Tuesday night, and after working out and then finding his name on the lineup card at 3 o'clock, he was removed, a late scratch, as Phil Nevin and the coaching staff, training staff wanted to get him an additional what turned into day and a half before coming back after the cranky back sidelined him. So Zach ready to go, Matt Manning ready to go. Good to have you with us for Game 2 of this doubleheader as the Angels look to finish off a 3-game sweep, and we're underway here at Comerica Park.
Unusual to see Neto up there hacking at the first pitch.
Zach found himself seated because of the injury in the throes of a 6-game hitting streak, which is, of course, still active today. 21 games lost after the oblique strain. Came back on July 14th, and then some time on the day-to-day list. And there's a strike from Manning to make it a ball and 2 strikes now.
Manning, like Lorenzen, although Lorenzen had 7 strikeouts in game 1, not a big strikeout guy. Just 25 strikeouts in 36 2/3 innings pitched.
And a strikeout starts his afternoon.
And the defense behind Manning, because he's always going to have that baseball put in play with not a lot of strikeouts. You got Vierling out in center field in game 2. McKinstry in left field. Carpenter DH the first 2 games out in right field. Short Baez, Banez, Torkelson, and Rogers. Well, that power and arm behind the plate.
So here's Ohtani. Over 100 pitches, complete game shutout, one that wrapped up less than an hour ago, and Shohei is back out there for the nightcap.
That's the thing that's amazing about Shohei Ohtani. You know, he said right away, I want to be back out there, and here he is.
Shohei is 0 for 8 with a couple of walks as a hitter in this series as he pulls off that one, and it's 0-2 to Ohtani. The fact that he posts up every day, given the workload, is not to be taken for granted, nor is it by anybody that watches. Give you some numbers in that regard here in a moment. The 0-2, first of all, is taken for a called strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. 2 strikeouts open the game for Matt Manning.
You knew that, that first at bat was going to be a tough one. You're still coming down from that adrenaline of 111 pitch shutout for Shohei Ohtani, just trying to get that bat speed together. He'll get it as the game progresses. That first at bat was going to be a tough one.
So here's Mickey Moniak, who picked up his hitting streak with a 6th inning double in the opener. A personal best 16-gamer alive here in game 2. Longest active hitting streak in the majors, and one of the longest by an Angel in the last decade. A ball and a strike. Mickey had a couple of hits on Tuesday, including the game winner in the 10th. A 1 for 4 in the opener of the doubleheader. I want to get back to that Ohtani note before it slips out of my brain, because we're all on numbers overload here.
just a few.
Like 35 minutes between games. So since 2021, I beg your pardon, Ohtani's AL MVP year, the Angels have played in a total of 426 games. Ohtani has been in 415 of those. He has missed 9 games in the better part of 2.5 years as a two-way player.
That's the thing. It's amazing how he has that work ethic and just the mindset to play every day after pitching and then swinging the bat.
Still 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mickey Moniak. There have only been 7 players in the game that have played in more than Ohtani since the start of the 2021 season. And again, he's doing it on both sides of the scorecard. Next 2-2 pitch to Mickey, misses to fill the count at 3-2, and Manning thought he had struck out the side.
Just a little bit off the corner. Just a little bit off the shadow.
Full count pitch home. And Moniak sends a ball well struck out to left center field. McKinstry and Vierling are back, and that one's off the base of the wall.
Boy, that could have got real interesting if it got by Vierling in center field. That would have been real interesting.
Hitting streak, check.
15th double of the season for Mickey Moniak.
17 games and counting on a 2-out double here in the visitors' half of the first, one that almost got out of here.
And if he's not backing up Vierling, that is going to be a potential inside the park home run.
And now Taylor Ward, who homered twice in the opener. Both of the homers came against the left-hander Zach Logue, one to left, a 2-run shot, and then a solo homer the other way to kind of put things out of reach.
Well, that was a hittable hanging slider first pitch too, and Taylor Ward just missed that one.
Behind 0-2. For Matt Manning, by the way, his last assignment was a rain-shortened affair on Saturday against San Diego right here at home for him. He went 2 innings, A lot of hit, struck out 2, and then the rain came and his night was done. Ended up with a no decision in a game that really got away from the Tigers. A 14-3 loss for them that day. 25-year-old right-hander set. Runner at second with 2 gone for the Angels. The 0-2 home is wrapped to shortstop. Baez there once again for the nightcap. And the 2-out double stays right there. Underway in game 2. Angels 0, Tigers coming to bat. This afternoon, really good numbers against the Detroit Tigers in his career again, as we went on the air and showed you a complete game for him. Last time he pitched in this ballpark last summer, and he'll look to finish out what could be a very good day and a very good start to a road trip for the Angels. Take a look at the lineup that he'll face in game 2 of the doubleheader. This is how A.J. Hinch pens it for the Tigers. Andy Ibanez will make his first start of the series at second base, batting second. And the DH for game 2 will be Miguel Cabrera, batting number 7. First pitch of the day from Patrick Sandoval, misses off the plate. Matt Vierling opens things, 2 for 7 in the series so far, hitless against Shohei Ohtani in the opener. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Matt Vierling.
And 2 fastballs in a row for Sandoval, like we saw a lot from Shohei in game 1. A lot of fastballs.
1-1 home is fouled away, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Just 1 hit, 3 walks. That was all the Detroit lineup was capable of against Shohei to start the afternoon in game 1. Popped him up.
Good changeup there for Sandoval.
Escobar playing first base in the nightcap for out number 1.
And my go-tos for Patrick Sandoval to have another solid game right on cue is that changeup has to be right there for him. Be able to have that feel for the changeup and get some outs early. It's a 184 with 37 punch-outs with that feel for his changeup. And also his slider in and away. He's got over a 30% whip percentage with his slider. Especially after the Tigers seeing all those fastballs. Should be 2 very effective pitches for Sandoval today.
Here's Andy Ibanez now making his first start of the series. Had a pinch hitting opportunity here on Tuesday. The former Ranger with 7 homers, 19 runs batted in his first year as a Tiger. A ball and a strike to count to Andy Ibanez. Things are not completely swimming right now for the Texas Rangers, by the way. You know, when you look at the top of the division, Texas is in the market for pitching help, starters, relievers, you name it. And I'd say that the Angels beat him to the punch in acquiring Lucas Giolito. Not to mention Ronaldo Lopez. I mean, there are a couple of guys that Texas, I'm sure, made phone calls on.
Oh, no question. Lopez in the bullpen for game 2 here.
Yeah, do we have eyes on the new reliever? He was supposedly landing at 1 o'clock today. You know, don't bother meeting your new teammates or shaking anybody's hand. Put this uniform on, and when we call your number, get up.
Yep. Let's see that 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
You're welcome to the Angels. 3-1 to Ibanez is a big swing and a miss. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. For Patrick Sandoval, strikeout numbers might be down a little bit, but perhaps that's all serving a greater good, meaning Sandoval's been able to go a little bit deeper into starts. He loses Ibanez on ball 4.
And the defense behind Patrick Sandoval today. It's good to have Zach Neto back at shortstop. Moustakas, who was outstanding at third base game 1. Rengifo at second. Escobar at first base, nice behind the plate. Ward, Moniak, and Renfroe again out in the outfield for the Halos in game 2. But Moustakas was really good along with Zach Neto on that left side of the infield, especially with the lefty Sandoval on the mound.
1 out, 1 on for Spencer Torkelson. And here's where maybe, you know, Patrick Sandoval 2.0 could be an even better version of a already very good major league starter. Because as we mentioned, the strikeouts, the whiffs might be down, but ground balls are up. Angels turned 2 double plays behind Ohtani in the opener.
Both started at third base by Mike Moustakas.
2 balls and no strikes. The count to Torkelson. 2-1 now. Patrick still features a great changeup, and on that particular pitch, it's leading to more ground balls than ever. A 62% ground ball rate against his change specifically. Fastball for Torkelson's in for a strike, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, change up away, fastball away here to even up the count at 2. Tigers don't run a lot.
Ibanez stays put, and the 2-strike pitch is fouled away. It stays 2-2 on the former #1 overall draft pick.
And often you see that both. There's 2 of them in the ballpark. Moniak out in center. 1-1 and Torkelson the same.
Mickey Moniak's already picked up his hitting streak with a first-inning double today. Sandoval's next 2-2 home is fouled away. Challenge heater, and Torkelson just able to get a piece of that.
Seeing 94 from Sandoval early. Started out with about an 89, 90 mile an hour fastball. That one at 94. Shohei Ohtani was sporting a 99 and 98 mile an hour fastball throughout.
Another 2-2 pitch on its way home to Torkelson. Instead, it's a check-in throw at first base. You know, we talked about that game, that brilliant night that Sandoval had here at Comerica Park last August. That was just a 1-0 win for the Angels. There was no margin for error in that game. And all 4 hits that Sandoval allowed that night were singles. Full count, 3-2.
You might have a chance to strike him out, throw him out here. I think they might be moving here 3-2.
Just thinking the same thing. A lineup that has really struggled to generate any kind of run-scoring moment. Maybe they send Ibanez here. Here we go on a full count pitch home. Ibanez stays put, and there is ball 4 to Torkelson. So
that pitch was in the strike zone.
It's back-to-back 1-out walks.
Well, a slightly different strike zone already in this game. This is all in the inside part of the plate. That is a strike.
Home plate umpire for the nightcap is Brennan Miller, and he was not in the rotation for the first game, but he's got the plate here for game 2, and now it's Kerry Carpenter, who had the only hit of the ball game against Ohtani in the opener. He takes a strike. A long hold by Sandoval. The Ibanez bouncing around, and now he's in front 0-2 after a swing and miss by Carpenter.
Yeah, Neto's trying to keep him close. One of those long look backs. You'd never know. These are the times where you might put on that pickoff throw to second base. It's got to be a timing play.
Javi Baez waits on deck for Detroit, who have a couple of runners aboard without the benefit of a base hit. There's a foul ball off the end of the bat. That's an emergency hack by Carpenter just to try to stay alive in the count. You know, we talked earlier about Sandoval going a little deeper into starts, and you know, for any starting pitcher, you know better than anybody, Gooby, that length is so important. Minimizing bullpen innings, giving your team a better chance, that is. For Sandoval, it is particularly telling when he goes at least 5 innings. His ERA is 2.85. On nights when he fails to pitch at least 5, the ERA swells up to 6.77. That's all stands to reason, right? If you're going to exit quickly, it's usually not going to be a good night for you.
And part of it is because of sometimes it gets a little bit wild, and that's what you want to try to avoid. He's got a couple walks here. He would love that ground ball at somebody right now.
A one-hopper for Neto, who makes a great play. Throw to second, and they do turn the double play. Great work by Neto, leaning to his right, not only to gather in the line drive, but after a bobble when he attempted to get it out of his glove, kept his cool and is able to turn 2-0 in the Tigers' half of the first. Mike Moustakas leads off the Angels' half of the second and ending into a scoreless tie to start the second of 2 here between the Angels and Tigers today. Back with Mark Gubazon, Erica Weston, Matt Vasgersian. Nice to have you with us on Valley Sports West. Angels looking to finish off a 3-game sweep to begin this 3-city road trip. And Matt Manning's first pitch to Mike Moustakas is a breaking ball for a strike.
Been staying away against Moustakas throughout this series, but he's done a nice job of going the other way, lining the ball left center. And once again, lined into left center. Only thing different about that knock was that it doesn't come at the end of a 3-2 count. Yes.
Let me tell you, the middle of the lineup has been great in this series, and that's our featured information on the Kia player profile. We'll profile a couple of guys. Ward, Moustakas, Renfroe, 3 to be specific. The heart of the order, 7 for 12 in the opener. Couple of homers and plenty of damage.
5 runs scored, too.
Here's Matt Thaiss now, who takes a breaking ball for a strike.
We're just going with the pitch, staying away against Moustakas. Eventually, like I said earlier in game 1, they're going to have to try to get him out in, and that's when he's going to be able to drive one.
Thaiss on that ball, just fouled it away. It's 0-2. Chad Wallach caught the opener, had a base hit.
He was fantastic behind the plate working with Shohei Ohtani. They were in a rhythm.
And Thaiss with a swing and a miss. 1 gone for Manning.
And even going back to that game, remember when Shohei had that walk in the 1 inning? He went right out to him, and right away a 3-pitch strikeout.
So here's Hunter Renfroe, who also had a very big day in game 1. A big opener, we should say. 2 doubles in each of his first 2 plate appearances, added a single in his final at-bat. First pitch to Hunter here in game 2 is fouled away.
And a nice job even staying on some sliders too, game 1.
Yeah, that base hit in his last plate appearance came on a breaking ball that he stayed on nicely and hit back up the middle. A 1 pitch is swung on and missed on a slider. Matt Manning likes his fastball. We've seen enough of him to know that. We mentioned his last start being rain shortened. His last home start was one with some historical context. It was back on July 8th against Toronto, and he pitched the first 6 2/3 of a combined no-hitter. And I'm not one to celebrate the combined no-hitter, as some may. It's still kind of cool.
Yeah.
A long hold to 1-2 to Renfroe. Another breaking ball popped him up. Rogers, the catcher. Oh, nobody calls the ball. You're at 10 feet, Maverick. Call the ball.
That was a communication breakdown.
Wow. Requesting to fly the tower. Request denied, Maverick. You're at 10 feet. Call the ball. 2 dudes looking at each other. Short was there. Rogers was there. Doink.
Not a bad idea for Short to stop because Rogers is a big guy. You don't want to run into him.
Now a homer.
But the bottom line is he's throwing 2 extra pitches already because of that. Now 1 out of the zone, and this next one to Hunter Renfroe.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The count to Renfroe with Moustakas at first and 1 gone. Scoreless in the nightcap here in the top of the second, and the 2-2 home to a full count.
That's the frustrating thing too. You're a young pitcher too. They're still keeping an eye on them as far as pitch counts going. And you have a pop-up, you're thinking that's an easy second out. Instead, you got to throw at least 3 more pitches here to Renfroe.
And on the next one, Hunter pops it up. Let's see who asserts themselves this time. Torkelson, loud. We're not going to let 2 of those bounce.
No. As soon as that baseball was in the air, he's calling for it right away.
Well, that's a guy that's used to playing a corner infield spot, right? Zach Short is a utility player, and he's out there at third base and probably deferred to his catcher at a moment when he should not have chosen that. Here's Eduardo Escobar now batting 8th for the Angels in the nightcap. Escobar idled in game 1. He's got good memories of this ballpark. Something we haven't talked about yet. Made his big league debut here. His first hit came here. Pinch hitting against Justin Verlander.
That'll make you feel good, in future Hall of Famer.
I would imagine. In front, 3 balls and no strikes now. Luis Rengifo batting 9th in the nightcap. He's on deck waiting next with 2 out.
I think he's going to get the green light here.
Takes a strike. It's 3-1. Escobar started at first base in game 1 of the series, collected a couple of hits and an RBI in the 7-6 extra innings win on Tuesday.
Boys, there's a lot of room down that right field line if he can turn on one.
3-1 home, and that misses for ball 4.
And our Hyundai key for the game today. We're going Stevie Wonder. Signed, sealed, and delivered.
Like that choice a lot.
Yes. See if the offense can get it rolling here and deliver a sweep today in the doubleheader and the sweep of the series.
First and second with 2 gone. And the first pitch to Luis Rengifo's in for a strike.
Both these pitchers seem to like to throw the first pitch curveballs. Sandoval, we know that. Same thing with Manning.
Strikes me you could do an entire season's worth of Hyundai keys to the game only with Stevie Wonder and never run out of material.
No doubt. That was a tough one. I was trying to think of that. I'm thinking, you know what? I just had a good feeling about game 1. So I had to go with this one there. Just deliver that sweep.
Like it. I thought you'd go fingertips part 2 since we're in the second of a doubleheader. Top of the order waiting next for the Angels. And a fastball stays high. Ball and 2 strikes on Rengifo, who also has enjoyed a pretty good series here. 2 hits, including an RBI triple on Tuesday. And Louis collected a double in the first of the doubleheader earlier today. A drive well hit out to right center field. Carpenter's on the dead run, heading for the deepest part of the ballpark and off the wall. It'll score Moustakas easily. Here's Escobar right behind him. Another triple for Rengifo in the series. 2-0 Halos.
Boy, he's been crushing that ball right to the deepest part of the yard. I thought off the bat that had a chance as a 3-run home run. Ends up being a 2-run triple. That was signed, sealed, and delivered to the wall for a triple from Rengifo. This ball was crushed. 103.9 miles per hour exit velocity. It's on a breaking ball. Crushed it.
I mean, any other ballpark, I don't even think we need to look at the StatCast information to say that this would be a home run anywhere else. That's a 419-foot triple. Only here and Coors Field does that ball stay in the park.
Yeah, it might have some carry there to get over the wall there.
Maybe it would have gone after all. Tigers pitching coach Chris Fetter comes out for a very early, very brief conversation with Matt Manning. And now the Angels flip the lineup card over back to the top of the order for Zach Neto.
Boy, is he crushing the baseball, Rengifo, this hot month of July. The Louie.
First to score in all 3 games of the series have been the Angels as Neto swings and misses. Zach sends that out to shallow center field. Veerling coming on. He won't get there. Rengifo scores. 3-0 Angels.
Just making some contact. Falls in nicely. A little flare. Zach Neto, welcome back. RBI, number 28. Shohei Ohtani a chance to add on this lead now.
Shohei looking for his first hit of the series. A 3-run rally here in the second inning for the Angels. You know, Matt Manning's curveball, his breaking stuff in general has been vastly improved year over year. He started out as a guy that just got outs with his heater. His curveball's been great, but the Angels have had some early success against that here today.
Yeah, I mean, 161 versus curveball coming in, and this 121 versus his slider batting average against him.
Two balls and a strike to count to Ohtani.
It's a high curveball, and Shohei Ohtani's got a lot of power against breaking pitches. Especially after pitching a 9-inning game, you'd love to have that slow curveball to be able to speed up the bat and be able to drive it. Hard fastballs will be tougher for him today.
Since Shohei refuses to take a day off, again having played in 415 of 426 potential games since the start of 2021. Yesterday wasn't such a horrible thing.
Yes.
Right? You can't play tomorrow, or you can't play yesterday, Shohei. It's raining. There's no game. You have to not play baseball when there's no game.
And you remember, he was originally supposed to start tomorrow up in Toronto. And in that conversation you had with Phil Nev and Matt Weiss, they decided today would be a better option for him to be able to go and pitch game 1.
And the numbers bear that out, right? It would have been 6 days rest had he pitched in Toronto tomorrow. He's been much better throughout his career on 5 days rest. And it's really hard to argue with it given the results he put up. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ohtani.
Well, and every fan in the stands here, even though they're here rooting for the Tigers, they were incredibly impressed. None of them left. They watched Shohei Ohtani throw a 1-hit shutout.
When Cecil Fielder came to the Tigers after dominating in Japan, I forget which sports writer came up with the line. Mitch Albom, one of the local sports writers, said that he was the only Japanese import to ever be cheered in Detroit, making the automotive industry reference, right? There were some clapping for Shohei, who goes to the opposite field. Get going, yeah! His major league leading 37th Oppo shot.
And remember, he threw a shutout in game 1 of this doubleheader. And then he hits an opposite field rocket out. And the cheers here at Comerica Park for Shohei Ohtani. Right on cue for you there, Matt. That's unreal. Simply unreal. Exit velocity of 107.6.
Here's Mickey Moniak now. Any of the baseball writers want to continue writing stories about potential trade targets for Shohei Ohtani? Put all those right in your delete folder. Moniak into the gap. Closed by McKinstry on a fine running catch. However, 8 Halos bat in the second inning. They get on the board 5 times. 2-run triple for Rengifo. RBI single for Zach Neto and a 2-run homer for Shohei Ohtani. 5-0 Angels.
A home run in Game 2 of the doubleheader, a complete game shutout in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Phil Nevin said Shohei found another gear today. Man, I'll say, he said that when he came into the dugout after the 8th inning, he gave him a look and told him, I'm finishing this game. So, of course, Phil obliged. But I asked him, does it feel differently today knowing he's with the Angels for the rest of the season and the front office is making moves to get you guys to the postseason? He told me nothing really changes mentally. All the people talking about trades, that's all gone. So now I can just focus on taking this team to the playoffs. And this is the first time since I've been here we're buyers, so it's all new to me. He went on to say, obviously, I've been with the Angels my whole career here. I love the fans. I love the team. No complaints. And I just want to finish the season strong for the fans and everyone cheering for me. Guys.
Always saying the right thing.
Love that. You could see it in his face, even walking out to warm up today, the smile on his face. And then to go out there to perform like he did on the mound. And then the homer here in Game 2. A rocket the other way.
Javi Baez leads things off in the Tigers' half of the second. And that one just fouled at the plate to keep him alive at 1-2. Baez followed by Jake Rogers and Miguel Cabrera in the Tigers' half of inning number 2. A 5-run top of the second.
This is a great swing by Rengifo, too, for a 2-run triple. Neto base hit, and then Shohei with a rocket out.
Still the ball and 2 strikes on Baez. So Patrick Sandoval in his first inning this afternoon walked a pair with 1 away and then got Kerry Carpenter to hit the line drive to Neto that turned into an inning-ending double play. The next 1-2 home to Baez is fouled away in the other direction.
I like Sandoval using his fastball too. Last game out was using that effectively. That really sets up, especially the release point with his fastball, to be able to set up his changeup.
One-two home. Baez hanging around. Patrick Sandoval's retired the leadoff hitter in each of his last 11 innings. It's a stretch that dates back his 2 previous starts. The longest active streak is only 13. Chance to set down his 12th here, and Baez giving him a hard time by staying alive.
Still got a chance to get him to swing at something out of the zone down yet, whether it's a slider or changeup.
Catcher Jake Rogers waits on deck. He too, like Moniak, trying to extend a hitting streak. Mickey's already done it. Here's the next 1-2 to Baez, and a swing and a miss. First punch out of the game for Patrick Sandoval. As you mentioned earlier, Patrick coming off one of the best starts he's had all year. Last time around against the Yankees, July 18th, pitched into the 8th inning, allowed just 2 hits, 1 run, struck out 7. He did walk 3, but paced the way in a breezy 5-1 win over New York.
And that was one of those times where you have the starting pitchers were kind of competing against each other with some excellent performances against the Yankees. Each one better. Here's an opportunity here today to do the same, especially after Shohei's performance in Game 1, to try to even do better if you can, which will be pretty hard to do.
Series where the Yankees struck out 40 times. in 3 games. And Sandoval very responsible, among others, for that number. 1-1 the count to Jake Rogers.
Well, he takes a strong, healthy hack. He is strong.
Trying to extend a career best 9-game hitting streak here this afternoon. Sandoval's 1-1 is swung on and fouled away.
This feels like the way he has his hands set up, he's looking middle in. That's why you would think he would have a tough time with Sandoval's changeup if he could start that on the outside corner, just have it fade off the plate.
DH Miguel Cabrera waiting next on a 2-strike count. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Rogers. And Sandoval strikes out back-to-back hitters to open the bottom of the second.
That slider stayed a little bit up. You see the reaction by Sandoval, but sometimes you get away with that as long as it's elevated enough, that slider. Future Hall of Famer now at the plate.
Here is the 12-time All-Star Miguel Cabrera. His first activity of the series, idled on Tuesday, did not play in the opener of the doubleheader, and takes a look at strike 1. When Miguel Cabrera debuted in Major League Baseball 20 years ago, he was the youngest player in the sport. Today, 20 years later, he is the oldest hitter in Major League Baseball. Rich Hill of the Pirates has him in terms of overall roster members, but the youngest guy with a bat is Miguel Cabrera, oldest that is.
Yeah, he'll say the youngest though.
Yeah. A 20-year career.
World champion
in his first season.
Yep.
Two-one home to the 2-time MVP. Checked his swing, and at first they appeal and say that he went around. It's the crew chief Mark Carlson out there, who doesn't care about anybody's resume.
No, he did the Adrian Beltre, his point down there. It looked like he went. Pretty close. Looked like he might have crossed the plate. 500 career home runs, 3,000 hits. World champ. Yeah.
21st on the all-time hit list. And getting closer to 20th. It flips a base hit into the opposite field. And Cabrera's aboard with 2 gone.
Even throughout his whole career, there wasn't many hitters better than him going the other way. With a lot of power normally. Now 31-34 as far as hits. Stays back, uses his hand inside out, goes the other way.
And now just 17 hits shy of the great Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn on the all-time hit list. Here's Zach McKinstry now with a man on and 2 away. You know, as great as Miguel Cabrera has been throughout his career, managing an aging superstar is not an easy proposition. And I'm sure in an honest moment, A.J. Hinch would talk about the challenges. Look, they only play Cabrera once a series. You never want to be the guy on whom a star falls on your watch, right? One ball and 1 strike to count to Zach McKinstry. Just 1 for 9 in the first 2 games of the series. Back up the middle. Neto gets a glove on it. What a play!
Welcome back, Zach Neto. Hopefully he's okay on that play there. Full extension on that dive. You remember the back. What a play by Neto.
What a difference maker the rookie shortstop has been. Taylor Ward leading things off in the third for the Angels in a 5-0 lead for the visitors. Ward, Moustakas, and Theis against Matt Manning, who endured a long, damaging top of the second. That's when the Angels got their 5 runs. Ward 0 for 1 so far today in Game 2, but man, was Game 1 a lot of fun for Taylor with a pair of homers.
Homer to the left, homer to the right. Between him and Rengifo, they have been on fire in July.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit on Tuesday night, the fact that the hot stretches for Rengifo and Ward seemed to come at just the right time, because it started happening when Mike Trout was lost on the injured list. We talked about it at the time. Somebody needs to pick up, and it has been, among others, Ward and Rengifo. On a hop for Baez. Long throw, and Torkelson can't dig it out of the dirt. Ward's going to get to second base.
Yeah, plenty of time and a strong throwing arm normally for Baez, but one hop throw over to first base. Torkelson unable to get it, went into the dugout, and allows Ward to get into scoring position right away. Mike Moustakas, who has been outstanding in this series.
And Baez hearing it a little bit from the crowd here. Ward gets to second. Boy, the first game opened on an error by the second baseman, Zach Short. An early error here. And Ward off second base now for Moustakas, who's been great in this series. First ball swing and a pop-up. Long run for McKinstry. Short's out there from third to make the catch, and there's one away.
But it's watching Moustakas. You can tell he's a guy that wants to win, wants to do anything he can to win, and he's upset with himself for that pop-up there. Even though that first at bat had a line drive to left center, really good Game 1. Guy's a winner.
Here's Matt Theis now, a strikeout victim in his first try. On the first pitch, a one-hopper for Ibanez. Good play to his left to get the out. Ward to third with 2 gone.
Saved the run on that one. Showing some pretty good range there. Ibanez getting into that baseball and quickly throwing the first base.
Here's Hunter Renfroe now. Fouled out to first base in his first at-bat. Runner at third with 2 gone. Yeah, Matt Manning has to feel a little bit snake bit by the Angels. He's pitched okay against the Angels in 3 previous starts. Doesn't have any real success to show for it. That's yanked foul.
So he went slider then curveball. Nice play.
Great guy doesn't quite know what to do now. Nice job, young man.
Yes, bring the glove, make a play.
Wasn't sure if he should bow or, you know, pouty peace sign for the social media. Good job, young man, and he has not reached for a phone yet to post about it. You're my kind of fella. Way to go.
Feels like he's going to go into a pitching motion.
And a called strike 3 taken by Renfroe. That'll retire the side. Dude's on cloud 9. He'll get the bottom of the order to start things in the third. Zach Short followed by Matt Vierling and Andy Ibanez. 5 runs on 5 hits for the Angels. All the damage coming in the top half of inning number 2. Slow breaking ball starts short with the ball that misses in.
And another first pitch curveball from Sandoval.
Sharply hit through the hole in the left field, and a leadoff single for Zach Short. First leadoff hitter to reach against Patrick Sandoval in 13 innings. Hey, it's time for our Blue Moon bright spot. What a bright spot Lucas Giolito will be for an Angels rotation that was searching for some starting pitching help since the start of 2018. And bear in mind, 2018 was not a terrific year for Lucas. He really got it together the following season. He is top 10 in starts, strikeouts, and innings, and just outside the top 10 in quality starts. And he will make his Angels debut tomorrow in Canada A.
That plus changeup he will throw, especially against those aggressive hitters for the Jays. They hit fastballs very well. A little bit different than this Tigers lineup that hit breaking balls a little bit better than fastballs.
0-1 the count to Matt Vierling, who opened the first inning with a pop out against Patrick Sandoval today. Leadoff hitter at first, and it's a 1-1 count now to Matt Vierling.
Well, the Angels have had 3 double plays turned this afternoon already. 2 in Shohei's game and 1 on a line drive double play for Sandoval.
Bouncer off Sandoval's glove. He'll recover. Throw is low, and Escobar can't dig it out. Escobar's throw to third base is not in time and cut. Man, you went from thinking that was a double play ball, okay, maybe not, let's just get one, to runners at the corners now with nobody out.
Yeah, that's one of those ones, if you look back, you let that one go. Because that's going to go right to Zach Neto. He's going to be able to field that on the move and step right on the base.
Will they get the out at first base on Vierling if Escobar is able to fish that out of the dirt? But again, Eduardo without a whole lot of experience at first base. And now Patrick's in a little bit of a jam with first and third and nobody out. Andy Ibanez drew a walk in his first at-bat. That's scored as an infield single for Vierling, and a throwing error by Sandoval that allowed Short to get to third.
I'm telling you, everything's a base hit right now. Sandoval will say the same thing. That's an error by him on the fielding play of it. Even it would be 2 errors on the play.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Oh, and 1 the count to Andy Ibanez. Make it 0-2.
2 strikeouts in this game so far for Sandoval, both on his slider.
One of the few power threats in the Tigers lineup waits next. Spencer Torkelson on deck. First and third with nobody out. Ball and 2 strikes.
Overthrew his changeup.
52 pitches by Patrick Sandoval. We're only in the third with nobody out. It is a fresh and full bullpen, one that includes Ronaldo Lopez, whose plane landed at 1 o'clock, and we are assuming that Lopez is out there available. At least that's what Phil Nevin was counting on before the first game of the doubleheader.
Zach Weiss, the same thing as that 27th man in the roster of a doubleheader.
Shohei Ohtani's complete game shutout in the first game allows for some wiggle room and plenty of available arms here in the nightcap.
Nice play by Theis on that, was overthrown.
Yeah, and the first fastball Sandoval's thrown to Ibanez is a nearly wild one. 2-2.
You tell he's a little sweat there for Sandoval going back to the rosin bag. And with that pitch timer going, it's going to be really close here.
Back-to-back sliders, followed by 2 changeups, then the fastball that was wild. And the pitch home is sent high and deep into the corner and left and just foul.
I felt that he rushed that. That's why, because he was down to 1 second on the pitch timer, so he rushed it. And that changeup was on the inner half, a very hittable pitch.
I can't believe he missed it. I can't believe he's wearing a black shirt on a hot sunny day like this. Gotta be warm. Well, we're in the booth.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing a black t-shirt in the sun today.
No.
There's Torkelson waiting on deck as Ibanez continues to give Sandoval a pretty good battle here.
And a lot of pitches for Sandoval, too.
9th pitch of the at-bat, and he finally strikes him out.
Just a great changeup there for Sandoval. Finally was able to get that chase below the zone with his changeup. Turned that one over perfectly. .38th strikeout with his changeup this season.
So now Torkelson, who is 1 for 7 with 3 walks in the series so far.
Seven ground ball double plays.
What? 0-1 the count to the former #1 overall draft pick. We talked about this a little bit Tuesday. The fact that Spencer Torkelson just has not figured out Comerica Park yet. Career batting average in his home ballpark of under 200. 245 on the road. A ball and a strike.
Place tried to bring that one back in the zone, but that was a baseball and a half off the corner.
There are 11 former #1 overall picks who've played in the big leagues this year, and 2 of them are on the field as we speak in Mickey Moniak and Spencer Torkelson. That one's fouled away, 1-2. Another good block and stop by Matt Theis. Some of these near wild ones, Theis has done a pretty nice job going up to get. That saves a run.
Yeah, that's like the pitch count went off the glove there too. What you're seeing right now for Sandoval, it's a warm afternoon right now, and he's sweating a lot. So the baseball is in the sweat on the hand area of Sandoval.
One gone, runners at the corners, 5-0 Angels, bottom of the 3rd as Torkelson checks his swing, and it's 2-2.
Sandoval's throwing 17 four-seamers, and we've seen some four-seamers thrown by Angels pitchers against this lineup for the Tigers. Only 8 of them strikes though.
Full count pitch. Been a real battle for Patrick, right?
Yeah.
The 2 singles open the inning. He's got to work hard. A 9-pitch strikeout to Ibanez, and a full count for Torkelson with pitch number 7 on its way.
He's really having a tough time with the grip of the baseball with the sweat on his hands. Got to go back there and dry his hands up quite a bit.
Well, this has been the inning for Patrick that's given him the trouble this year. 35% of the runs he has allowed have come in the 3rd inning for whatever reason. Trying to navigate this jam 1st and 3rd. The next full count pitch.
He's had some long at bats too, some foul balls and long at bats today too. At this point, the next pitch will be 65. Shohei Ohtani, you put in perspective, he threw 66 pitches through 6 innings game 1.
Pitch number 8 on its way to Torkelson. That one's in play for Moustakas, who will yield the run for the out. Good job by Escobar to come down with a baseball and swipe the tag past the runner. And the Tigers are on the board for the first time today after being shut out in the opener. So there was some question before the game, and I think Erica Weston's standing by with an answer. When you talk about jerseys and new players and who's going to be looking which way, what number is Lucas Giolito going to wear as an Angel? Erica, what's the answer to that?
He was 27 in Chicago. Tomorrow when he suits up as a Halo, he will be wearing number 24.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
was that
sure.
what you would have guessed?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that 27 would probably not be available.
It's taken.
Right,
it's
right.
taken forever.
Twice.
Check. You're not getting that one. What's your next preference, Lucas? Are those already available on at the Angels team store? I would imagine.
He has a lot of connections in SoCal.
It's going to be, if they're not there now, they're on their way. Number 24. Got it. 0-1 to Kerry Carpenter. Make it 0-2 to the Tigers right fielder.
Well, we call him to say, hey, kid. He's number 24.
All
Lucas
right.
Giolito.
Yeah. I think Lucas had worn number 44 at one point in Chicago. Maybe it was just for a start or two. The most recent number 24 for the Angels was Kurt Suzuki. And I don't know if Kurt's placed a phone call yet to ask, for that not to be reassigned.
He is working for the front office now.
Kurt's not that kind of guy.
No.
Did he check it? Yes, he did on the appeal, and it's 2-2 to Carpenter. Can I give you a brief history of number 24s for the Angels?
Yes.
I'll go back to Noe Ramirez. C.J. Cron wore number 24. Your guy Hank Conger. Danny Herron wore that number.
He can't throw 87?
Ricky wore that number for his half season as an Angel.
Boy, a lot of pitches thrown for Sandoval.
This might give us a chance to go through every player that's ever worn number 24 in Angels history. Starting with Art Fowler. Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Kerry Carpenter. He's saying it hit him. And Brennan Miller says no, it did not.
They're going to check it. They could check that one. And they are going to check it. You almost feel like anytime they're going to check a potential hit by a pitch, they're going to have. They're going to feel good about getting it.
I don't know that you can't tell by the body language, because if Carpenter sold it, he didn't really sell it hard. I can't tell there. Can you?
No, I think what had happened, what he felt, is may have been the glove that Matt Theis hitting his elbow, because it looked like the baseball was by his, the protection he has on his tricep and elbow area, and then when Theis reached for it, that looks like that's when he hit it.
When your lineup is struggling to produce, as the Tigers has been, second lowest home OPS in the sport, you might as well challenge something like that.
Yeah, you need base runners.
This might give us a little better look, a little different angle here. No, I don't see contact there.
You see when Theis reaches back. This is another good angle right here. I mean, you might see a little bit of deflection on there. No, he definitely didn't touch the glove there, Theis. It's amazing with that protection. It's hanging down away from his elbow, too, but it's still part of the body at that point, just like the jersey. Might be one of those call stands. There's not enough to be able to make and say that was a hit by pitch.
Rufino Linares, also number 24 for the Angels. Let me know if you want me to keep going.
No, I know. I feel much better.
After review, the call in the field stands.
Yes, it does.
The batter was not hit by the pitch.
That's right.
Detroit will lose their challenge.
Thank you. Thought Brennan Miller was going to jump in with, and Jack Hamilton also wore number 24 as an Angel. Back to you. So 2 balls and 2 strikes after much ado over nothing to Kerry Carpenter. Oh no, home plate umpire got clipped on that one badly, man. Foul tip that I believe caught Brennan Miller in the mask. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it was right back, right off the masking. That place was able to keep him up.
Oh,
straight back.
Man.
A lot of those masks right now have that little springs on both sides. I don't know if he has that on his mask, though. Speaking of that, Kurt Suzuki was one of the first that had that springs on the mask.
Good to see him smiling. My heavens. Home plate umpire will give himself a moment. Understandably so. So you want to be an umpire. Yeah. Still 2-2 to Kerry Carpenter. A base hit. That will wave around a second Tigers run this inning. It's a 5-2 ball game.
There's a lot happening in this inning, an inning where you think if everything was going well, you're putting up another 0. He went down and got that slider. It was down below the zone, but right back up the middle on it.
So now Matt Wise comes out. There have been any one of a number of pauses to the rhythm of Patrick Sandoval in this inning. A challenge on a would-be hit-by-pitch play that ended up standing. Then you have the umpire getting hit with a foul tip. And now a visit by the pitching coach. And Javi Baez will bat.
With 73 pitches thrown already, and this is just the 3rd inning.
I mean, it's going to be a challenge for Patrick to get to 5 to be the pitcher of record in this game. So here's Baez now, 1 for 9 in the series, a strikeout victim in his first at-bat. Oh, 0-1 to Javi Baez.
First pitch, changeup. Baez always aggressive on the first pitch, takes that one.
.30 pitches this inning for Patrick Sandoval. 1-1.
Well, this is the guy you want to get out. You want to get any more damage going, especially with the power on deck in Rogers.
Two balls and a strike. Approaching a time of the afternoon where the shadows will benefit both pitching staffs. We're not quite there yet, but you can see that light standard shadow creeping in toward the cutout. Two-one pitch to Baez is swatted out to shortstop. Neto goes the short way to put an end to a long inning. Tigers on the board for 2 at the end of 3. 5-2 Angels. Well, he started the afternoon by going a complete game shutout with 8 strikeouts in the opener, allowed 1 hit and a total of 4 base runners. And then in the nightcap, as though he already hadn't had a fantastic day, a dramatic 2-run homer. A big part of a 5-run outburst in the Angels' second, and a big part of a 5-2 lead as we welcome you back to Comerica Park with Mark Gubiza and Erica Weston. Matt Vasgersian, nice to have you with us on Valley Sports West today. Angels looking to take a pair, sweep a series, and take a full head of steam to Canada for the first of 3 with the Blue Jays tomorrow, where Lucas Giolito will make his Angels debut.
You just kind of think right now, after the Tigers respond with a couple runs, see if the offense can jump right back. They've been great as far as responding to runs.
A strike to Eduardo Escobar. 2 balls and a strike to the Angels' first baseman here in the nightcap. Escobar walked, scored one of the 5 runs in the second. High and deep into the corner in right field. Carpenter giving chase down there near the 330 mark, and that one is gone. How he kept it fair was no small feat.
Well, that's how you respond. Right away with a home run. Bresky, 5th in the season. 2nd run scored.
And the Angels American League leading 159th homer of the year. All boundary calls are reviewable by a crew chief review. There does not need to be a managerial challenge, but since the at-bat to Rengifo has already started, it appears the crew is confident that that was fair and gone. 4th homer of the day for the Angels. And a quick 0-2 count to Luis Rengifo, who has tripled in a pair of runs.
And the 2 home runs hit weren't even as far as Escobar's triple. It went 411. The ball went 350 feet, home run. But Rengifo hits at 411 and gets a triple. The ball disappear. Oh, it hits the fair pole.
Yep. Yeah. Made an easy non-review call.
Yep. And you can hear the sound too if you're the umpire going down the line to check it.
Rengifo rung up, 1 away.
Looked like it was a changeup. Sped up his bat, and he was able to hook that and keep it fair right off the fair pole.
Back to the top of the order now, Zach Neto, who has an RBI single in 2 tries today. There's been only 1 year in franchise history, this is hard to believe, 1 year where the Angels led the American League in homers. And it was 1989. Not 2002, as you might be tempted to guess. Not 86, when that big hitting team lost to the Brewers in the ALCS. And I'm looking at the 1989 roster and who the leading damage makers were. It was really a balanced home run attack. Chili Davis led the team with 22 that year. 22.
That means a lot of batters had double figures in home runs in that one.
And you're right. Jack Howell hit 20. Lance Parrish hit 17. Wally Joyner hit 16. By the way, hello to Wally Joyner watching in Provo, Utah this afternoon.
Oh, it's automatic, and I'll expect a text any second now from him.
Devon White hit 12. Claudio Washington, C-Dub, hit 13. And Brian Downing hit 14 that year. Now, you can understand the Angels leading the American League in homers this year. Shohei's hit 37, right?
Yeah.
That gets you quite a ways down the road. But that's an unusual team home run title by the Angels in '89 when the team leader hit 22. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Zach Neto.
Boy, 4 in the lineup today with double figures in home runs. You have Trout, Drury, who may be back pretty soon himself, double figures in home runs. Trout the same.
Bobby Rose hit 1 in 1989.
Well, that was the key.
That's right. I don't remember if '89 was before or after Bobby Rose went to Japan and had some good years. Do you remember or not?
No.
Neto pops it up for Torkelson and out number 2.
Shohei was looking at Neto, fired that bat towards the dugout. Shohei wasn't all that far away from that.
A lot of traffic coming in via text and email. Bobby Rose went to Japan after he played for the Angels for a few years. Covina guy, local guy. Here's Ohtani now with 2 gone.
Still remarkable. He hit a home run here in Game 2 after throwing a 1-hit shutout in Game 1.
Holds off, and it's a 2 balls and no strike count to Ohtani. All the way from Japan just to see Shohei. Well, I mean, if you're going to pick one day to travel a long way to see him, you pick the right day, folks.
Yeah. 2 for the price of 1 here today.
Two balls and a strike to Ohtani. Somehow able to check his swing that time. 3 balls and a strike.
So he's got a couple pitches inside so far. That was a curveball. He had a fastball inside. Moniak on deck. Doubled his first at bat. Extend his hitting streak. 17.
Oh, he got another one. Get going. Ohtani has done it again. Santa Maria. Complete game shutout. Check. 2 homers in the nightcap. Check.
But he grabbed his side or back after the swing. That was a rocket out. Incredible Shohei. Just hope he's okay. I can't believe this. 2 home runs back to back. Unbelievable. That man threw a 1-hit shutout in Game 1.
What?
Back-to-back home runs. We are not worthy.
Mickey Moniak sends a fly ball to the left. We're running out of accolades, folks. An unbelievable day has gotten unbelievabler. The Shohei Show headlining in Motown. Seven 2 Angels after Shohei Ohtani's second homer in as many at-bats here in the nightcap. This on the heels of a complete game shutout in Game 1. We welcome you back to Comerica Park as Jake Rogers sends the first pitch from Patrick Sandoval out to right for out number 1. We do want to show you the homer again and the reaction that Shohei had to the swing where he appeared to grab his lower back.
Well, that side area too.
Or oblique, yeah.
The stretch itself, you know, when you go 9 innings like he did in game 1, amazing what he has done again. Just like that, the offense did respond right away with 2 more runs. Right back, took that 2 runs. The Tigers got it and said, you know, we can match that with 2 home runs.
You know, he's back up to a 60 home run pace, and that's going to fuel all the conversation about potentially catching Aaron Judge's 62 homer season of last year, the American League record. And we're hoping that, you know, grabbing that oblique or side was just a function of a little tweak and nothing serious. We'll see if Shohei comes back for another plate appearance. He did go up the tunnel when the team came in. And we'll certainly keep our eyes on it as Miguel Cabrera digs in. A 1-0 count, now 2-0 the count to Miguel Cabrera. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to think of a better day for a major leaguer. I can think of only one. And that was when Rick Wise threw a no-hitter and hit 2 homers. And you got to go back to 71 for that?
Yes.
That might be the only day a player has had a better 24 hours, a better day in baseball.
Very close to with a 1-hit shutout in game 1 and then 2 home runs here in game 2.
A no-hitter and 2 dingers wins. I mean, as brilliant as Shohei has been today,
that's pretty tough.
That's ridiculous,
right?
That
is tough.
But a very close 1A is what Shohei has done on this day, this afternoon in Detroit. 3-1 to Cabrera is fouled away. Cabrera singled on a 3-2 pitch against Sandoval in the second.
So that baseball off the bat for Shohei, and again, the complete game went basically 117 miles per hour. How do you create that bat speed like that?
And to the deepest part of the park, too. So Sandoval with his 5-run lead back, and he strikes out Cabrera for out number 2. Gives us a chance to bring you a quick word from Hyundai.
It's your journey. Own every mile in the Hyundai Tucson with America's best warranty.
Here's Zach McKinstry now with 2 gone. McKinstry led off on Tuesday, led off the opener in this doubleheader, batting 8th here in the nightcap. Slow breaking ball makes it a ball and no strikes. As we mentioned earlier, these are 2 of only 5 games across Major League Baseball today. Travel day / day off for the rest of the league, and all the other action starting a little bit later on tonight. Only 1 American League game, and that's between Cleveland and the White Sox.
Cleveland back to 500. They're 51-51.
Kind of hard to figure out, too, huh? Trading their starting shortstop to the Dodgers yesterday. Two balls and a strike to Zach McKinstry.
Shane Bieber going to be out for a bit. They needed another starting pitcher. Noah Syndergaard goes to the Guardians.
We asked Perry Manassian today before the game, just as kind of a league-wide feel, just a big picture statement, if he thinks there's going to be more activity than at last year's deadline, less, commensurate. And his response was calculated and appropriate. He said it's hard to say. There's not a whole lot of targets out there, meaning players who are on the market in the last years of deals around whom there's a discussion that they could be had. Right? Nobody's sure if the Cubs are going to separate themselves with Marcus Stroman and some of the guys that they have, that its contracts are due. And now that Giolito's come to the Angels, and I think he was the biggest of the pitchers that was discussed. We're not sure who else is moving.
I mean, that's a big pickup. Giolito is a really, really good pitcher. Gives you a lot of innings, gives you a chance to win every single time he takes the mound. He's been on a stretch now, 7 of his last 9 starts, 2 earned runs or fewer during the stretch.
2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to the former Dodger Zach McKinstry. And that's out to left field. Ward's got it to retire the side. Patrick Sandoval sets down the Tigers in order for the first time this afternoon.
Giolito, local lad, returns home. Born in Santa Monica, attended Harvard-Westlake High School. By the way, that was an unbelievable program. Still is. 6th in the Cy Young Award voting in 2019 and threw a no-hitter back in August 25th, 2020. Believe me, I know that all too well, Harvard-Westlake.
You know what else was an unbelievable program? Seinfeld.
Yes.
And Lucas Giolito's grandfather appeared in an episode of Seinfeld, most famously, something that they talked about a lot when Lucas was drafted as a first-rounder. Reporting for duty in Toronto and taking the ball tomorrow night. Meanwhile, a 7-2 lead for the Halos here. Matt Manning back to work, working against Taylor Ward. Ward, Moustakas, and Theis. 7 runs on 7 hits for the Angels. Couple of homers for Shohei Ohtani. No big deal. Ground ball to third for Short. Makes a nice play and a very strong throw to retire Ward.
Look at the pitches that Lucas Giolito will throw tomorrow night. Let's take a look at our play sense presented by Frontier. Fastball, four-seamer, runs it upstairs at 92. Then he's got that great swing and miss changeup at 82. Fades that one down and away. Then he's really developed into a solid slider there at 86 miles an hour. All 3 of those pitches he can get a strikeout with.
There's Mike Moustakas now. 1 for 2 so far in game 2 of the doubleheader. Mike's had a really good series and takes a look at strike 1. Yeah, for Lucas Giolito, who went through a lot of changes mechanically between 2018 and 19, the secret was a shorter arm path, and you hear so many pitchers talk about that. As Moustakas pops it up, the catcher Rogers has it for out number 2.
Yeah, he had a longer throwing motion. I remember him so well at Harvard-Westlake. Even when he first signed and came up to the major league level with the Nationals, even though with the White Sox before going the drive line and having that shorter, more compact arm delivery.
Here's Matt Theis now with 2 gone. On the first pitch, Matty wraps it out to second base for Andy Ibanez, and it's a 1-2-3 fifth for Matt Manning. Still 7-2 Angels. Shuffle for the duffel. Head to the Big A on Friday, August 4th. Angels take on the Mariners at 6:30. First 25,000 fans receive a Mike Trout duffel bag courtesy of SoCal Gas. Visit angels.com/promotions for more info. 7-2 Halos, bottom half of the 5th. Zach Short leads things off against Patrick Sandoval, coming off his first 1-2-3 inning of the day. And he's 0-2 to the Detroit second baseman.
Now you have a little shadow effect in there now. The baseball out of the hand of Sandoval in the sunshine, then crosses the shadows in back to the sunshine at the plate.
And on an 0-2 pitch, a base hit into center field. Zach Short's 2 for 2 today. Leadoff hitters aboard, and time for a quick word from Jack in the Box.
Yo, Jack, that a baked brownie in my munchie meal?
You know it, Snoop.
Say less.
Patrick Sandoval at 94 pitches as he goes to work on Matt Vierling. He'd love to get Patrick through the 5 to get to the required number for a decision today. And again, it's a full fresh bullpen. Day off yesterday because of the rain. 2 additional bullpen arms available. Ball and no strikes to Vierling. On the ground to third. Moustakas to Rengifo. Taylor made for 2. The double play.
How often have you said that today, Matt? 5-4-3 double play. It's the 3rd time Moustakas has started a ground ball double play this afternoon in this doubleheader. Perfect changeup, end of the bat, like we showed earlier. The ground ball percentage up versus Sandoval's changeup, and gets 2 outs. That's a great Ernie Harwell would say, 2 for the price of 1.
Very nice. Nice little homage to the longtime voice of the Tigers, Andy Ibanez, with a can of corn fly ball for Moniak. Leadoff single and nothing further. 5 complete. All Angels in the nightcap. Back for the top of the 6th inning and a pitching change for the Tigers. Matt Manning gone after 5. He leaves having yielded the 7 runs. And here in the top of the 6th inning, it's going to be Renfroe, Escobar, and Rengifo against Trey Wingenter on the mound for the Tigers. And I guess we can safely assume that Shohei's done for the day because he has been scratched off for Michael Stefanik as the DH. And if we get any word as to his status again after that second home run, kind of grabbed his oblique, grabbed his back. We're hoping just as a precaution that Shohei has been taken out of the game today. I don't know what else he could prove. Complete game shutout win in the opener, 2 homers in the nightcap.
Unbelievable. But you see Shohei will do that on occasion because, especially because he swings so hard. He just went 9 innings in game 1.
It's 0-2 to Hunter Renfroe from Trey Wingenter.
Wingender's fastball, average fastball, 95.7, also throw a slider.
Oh, get up and go. Hunter Renfroe is alive and well. 2 doubles in the opener, part of a 3-hit game. A homer here in the nightcap, and it's now 8-2 Halos.
So 4 home runs hit today by the Halos. 4. No, 161.
We talked about it in the opener. Perry Manasian told Gooby and I today before the game, I feel like a hot stretch for Hunter Renfroe is right around the corner. And he has taken a page right out of his April and May with a big doubleheader this afternoon.
Yeah, it's 3 extra base hits today. Wow, 4 home runs for the Halos. 4.
Ball and a strike, the count to Eduardo Escobar. Eight runs on 8 hits here in the nightcap. And Escobar sends a high fly ball out to left. That one's carrying McKinstry all the way to the track. Makes the catch shy of it. And that's out number 1.
That just spins that slider right on the inner half. And Hunter Renfroe, again, we're starting to see better swings against breaking balls for Renfroe. Granted, that's one of those ones that back up on a pitcher. It's one of those ones you want to crush. But it's good to see him stay back on that and hit it that far.
Luis Rengifo on the first pitch, a sharply hit ground ball for Torkelson, and with the pitcher covering, there are 2 away. There's the homer club right there.
Yes. Taylor Ward's go, I had 2 home runs in the first game. And then Shohei is just right around the corner saying, whoa, I had 2 home runs today. Oh, yeah, by the way, I threw a 1-hit shutout game 1.
There's so much for the ball not traveling at Comerica Park. Here's Neto now. Zach's had a RBI single among his 3 at-bats in his return to the lineup today.
How good has he been in the field, though, today? He's made some outstanding defensive plays at shortstop.
Wingenter's next pitch misses low, and it's 1-1.
Michael Stefanik there in the on-deck circle. You got to feel pretty good about yourself there, don't you? Pinch hitting for Shohei.
That's something to tell the kids about someday. Hey, Shohei Ohtani, greatest player to ever live, 2-time AL MVP. I pinch hit for him.
Yeah. Yes.
They wanted my bat in there instead of his.
Yeah. Remember, Stefanik had that big walk-off hit at home.
Walked off that victory in the opener of the Yankee series a couple of Mondays ago. And a wave and a miss to make it 3-2 to Zach Neto. Boy, Trey Wingender's a guy who's been around, man. He has paid his dues. Drafted by the Mariners in 2012, decided to go to college at Auburn, and then came out by the Padres a couple of years later. 7 seasons in the minors. His 3-2 home to Neto is swung on and missed. One more on the Renfroe homer. 8-2 Angels. Brought to you by Hyundai. It's your journey. Own every mile in a brand new Hyundai. By the OC Healthcare Agency. Build your healthiest self at angels.ocnavigator.org. And by your local Southern California Cadillac dealers. The Angels took their Cadillac out for a ride today, and his name is Shohei Ohtani. A luxury vehicle who in the first game of the doubleheader threw a complete game shutout with 8 punch-outs, exploited the weakness of the Tigers hitters by utilizing his 4-seamer frequently, and in game 2, a pair of long homers.
How do you hit one to left field and in right center like that after you just pitched a complete game? 111 pitches.
New pitcher for the Angels here in the 8th is right-hander Jacob Webb, the Riverside native, making his first appearance on the mound since the weekend against the Pirates. And misses to make it 2-0 on Spencer Torkelson. Off to Toronto from here. 3-game series at Rogers Center that starts tomorrow. Lucas Giolito making his Angels debut tomorrow night. It's 3 balls and no strikes on Torkelson. Three and 1.
Let's go right back at him, challenge him with a fastball here.
And there's ball 4. Torkelson's aboard to start the inning. Time for this afternoon's Carl's Cam replay, and for it we go back to this date in 2011 and Irvin Santana's day of destiny, the 9th no-hitter in Angels franchise history.
I remember that one well. Peter Bourne just running down that last L for Irvin Santana. And no-no. 2011.
Here's Kerry Carpenter now after the leadoff walk, and Carpenter takes a look at strike 1. One of the now 320 no-hitters in Major League Baseball history, and that includes the dreaded combined no-hitter. One and 1 the count to Kerry Carpenter. Only one last year.
You know, it was a couple years ago. It seemed like it was a bunch of them early in the season. What was it, like 6 or 7?
It feels like they come in bunches. You know, but who'd have thought on that day at Angel Stadium last May with our man Patty O'Neill Mike's side that would be the only no-hitter in the big leagues all year.
And that was a crazy game. Reed Detmers just had 2 punch-outs in that game.
If you count the combined no-hitter by the Tigers that we talked about in July, there have been 2 this year.
That was a perfect game, too. Oh.
What a play by Neto again. You've got to be kidding me with him. My goodness.
His range is unreal. I mean, that was a rocket. It was by him into the outfield.
He is unbelievable.
And he was almost screened by the second base umpire. A slap shot. What a play. All day long for Neto.
Here's Javi Baez now. 1 out, 1 on another highlight reel play by the Angels rookie shortstop. His movements are so fluid and effortless. I mean, it's like he's made out of sinew and rubber bands. Waving a miss by Baez.
And his instincts are incredible, especially for a young player that's really had minimal amount of professional at-bats and professional plays in the field, let alone in the major leagues.
0-2 to Baez is fouled away. And we talked about this earlier on a play that he bobbled for a moment. He keeps his composure like he's a guy that's been out there for 20 years. You'd think he's Omar Vizquel. I mean, that's I think a common trait of the great ones, right?
Yep.
They know they're that good. I don't have to panic. And a called strike 3 taken by Baez. While we're on the topic, how about our T-Mobile coverage cam covering the great defensive work by the rookie shortstop Zach Neto.
I mean, to dive for that baseball, lose the handle, but still no panic whatsoever to still get a double play. Up the middle, under control, knows he's going to get that force out at second. And that play right there, I'll tell you, that last one was unreal. I mean, that was a rocket.
Here's the catcher Jake Rogers now trying to pick up his career best 9-game hitting streak. 0 for his first 2. Yeah, Neto has been terrific again today. First game activity in a while after the cranky back had him on the sidelines. 0-1 the count to Jake Rogers. Swing and a drive, pretty well hit out to left. Ward measuring off the fence with room to retire the side. On to the 7th. 8-2 Angels. In the major leagues ever. Yeah, it was Rick Wise, June 23rd, 1971, threw a no-hitter against the Cincinnati Reds and hit 2 homers. And as good as Shohei Ohtani's doubleheader has been today, I think you got to tip the cap to Rick Wise.
By the way, what number was he?
Was he number 24? No, he wasn't.
No, did you see his number? I mean, it was pretty, it's a gigantic number 38.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And right on cue.
Pinch hitting for Shohei Ohtani is Michael Stefanik. You might want to write that down because I'm not sure how many times that'll be said. And Michael flies to center field to open things in the 7th. What a day it's been for Shohei Ohtani. If you're just kind of landing on us today, in the first game of the doubleheader, 8 strikeouts. He did not allow a man past second base, and only one guy got that far. And then in the nightcap of the doubleheader, he has hit 2 homers before being removed from the game. We're hoping just because of precautionary measures. And in fact, I think Erica has an update on his status. Erica?
Yeah, he was removed from today's game due to cramping. That's why he's no longer in this game. We'll find out more after today, or after this game, I should say, on Angels Live. He was removed due to cramping.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a possibility. Obviously, you think that's because of going 9 innings. It's a warm afternoon. You have 2 incredibly hard, firm swings. You hit a mile, 2 home runs. By the way, the first player in history to throw a 1-hit shutout in game 1 and then homer to second game. I mean, that's unreal. How many times did we say the first time in history with Shohei?
I know. Almost feel like you should have that queued up for any time you talk about him. First player to fill in the blank.
Yeah, or that's his whole name. Shohei, first time in history, Ohtani.
3 balls and a strike to Mickey Moniak. Trey Wingeter came into the ballgame in the 6th. Promptly yielded the home run to Renfroe. With 1 out here, he walks Moniak. And it gives us a chance to bring you a quick word from Kia. There's Taylor Ward now 0 for 3 in the nightcap after a 2-homer opener. And Ward takes a look at a fastball for strike 1. Oh, and 2 the count to Taylor Ward. Taylor doing a nice job coming back and atoning for what was a rough showing here at this ballpark last year. It was his first and before this week only trip to Comerica. He went 0 for 11 with 4 strikeouts in this ballpark.
That's a good way to erase that memory.
Yeah, let's get rid of that. And misses in tight. It's 2-2.
Even when you go back to Shohei in game 1, you remember last year in that start here, he struggled. When he went a 4 1/3 in a game here at Comerica Park, that hot afternoon game here.
Bouncer to shortstop, and that's going to turn into a double play. 7th inning stretch in the nightcap. 8-2 Halos. By Nissan. At Nissan, Waymaker cars that thrilled. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. By Jack in the Box, introducing Snoop's Munchie Meal, available for a limited time only at Jack in the Box. And by Spectrum One, internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and mobile for just $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com. It has been a spectacle here at Comerica Park.
Yes, it has.
For the guys wearing Angel Red. A breezy Shohei Ohtani-led victory in the first game. Complete game shutout for Sho, his first of his career. 2 Ohtani homers in the nightcap. 2 by guys not named Ohtani. And an 8-2 lead here in game 2. Miguel Cabrera leading things off in the Tigers' half of the 7th. And that one's bounced to third. Luis Rengifo has taken over for Mike Moustakas at third base. And there is 1 gone for the new Angels pitcher, Gerardo Reyes.
Moustakas was so good at third base this entire day. Swung the bat very, very well. Rengifo there now. Velasquez at second.
So some changes to hopefully get Phil Nevin and the Angels through the rest of this day. On the plane and off to Toronto healthy. 1 gone for Zach McKinstry.
Yeah, as much as you didn't want to have that rain out yesterday, that gives you a little bit of a breather because this is going to be a stretch for a lot of games in a row against some really good teams coming up. You got Toronto coming up for 3 and then Atlanta down there in that warm weather down there in Atlanta. I'm sure it'll be nice and comfortable.
Atlanta in late July. Yikes. Where the tea is sweet and the pit stains are bright. That is a 2 t-shirt town, my friend.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, we can't get away with saying that's a dry heat down there like we do back home.
Oh, no. McKinstry fouls that one away. It's 1-2. Braves off today at 64-36. Best record in Major League Baseball. Everybody's choice to win the NL East. A 10-game lead over the Phillies. 10.5 better than Miami. You think the Mets go into sell mode?
Yes. I mean, they're 7 under 500 right now. Yeah, I think so.
17.5 back in the division. 7.5 back in a wild card race that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in front of them for that last chair.
I think even San Diego is almost in that same position as the Mets.
Yeah, they're close. They're 6.5 out in the wild card, and both teams with bloated payrolls, the 2 biggest spenders in the offseason. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to McKinstry.
Man, there's been some foul balls today. It's game 2.
There was a markedly bigger crowd here for the first game as compared to this nightcap, if only because this was supposed to be just 1 game played at 1:10 local time. The nightcap is a result of the rain out yesterday.
I'll tell you what, a lot of these fans here that came in that game 1 had to be pretty happy. They didn't anticipate Shohei Ohtani being the starting pitcher in that game initially.
just past the dive of Escobar up into the right field corner. And McKinstry is into second with a 1-out double.
Well, we go back to Patrick Sandoval. Solid. He had a lot of long at-bats, but a solid 5 innings today. Just a couple earned runs allowed. Baseball just by glove. Eduardo Escobar at first base.
Runner at second now for the pinch hitter, Nick Maton. Maton pinch hitting for Zach Short as he did in the opener on Tuesday night. And Reyes misses inside.
Short with 2 hits in the game and gets pinch hit for.
That's, yeah, boy. What's a guy got to do to stay in the lineup? One ball and 1 strike to the former Philly. That's an interesting team at the deadline. Phillies have one of the wild card seats for the moment, but Arizona and Miami are just a half game back of that spot.
Yeah, that is a real close race over in the National League with the Giants in there too. Even that great story of Cincinnati. They're not that far back themselves in that wild card race.
That's right.
And in the division. What a story the Reds are.
A great story indeed. All those young kids that they bring up at the same time, and they all caught fire at the same time, led of course by Ellie De La Cruz, who's must-see TV. But with a young team is also going to come some failings. I mean, that team strikes out like crazy. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Having Votto back in there gives him a little bit of patience at the plate. They'll see pitches, work counts well. Having that veteran influence back in there with all those young players.
Top of the order next for the Tigers. Next offering home to Maton. Bounced right up the middle. Neto is there waiting for it. And the throw to first is there for route number 2. Is this your card? The first 25,000 fans at Angels Stadium for the Mariners game on Saturday, August 5th will receive an Angels trading card pack courtesy of Topps. Visit angels.com/promotions for details. Here's Vierling now with 2 away. And he takes a strike. 2-out runner at third in a 6-run game. 8-2 Angels in the late stages of game 2 of our doubleheader. And it's 0-2 to Matt Vierling.
Well, from 98 four-seam fastball, 95 sinker.
You know, if this score holds and the Angels do take both, the career wins number 99, and this would be career managerial win number 100 for Phil Nevin today. Back in his old haunts. 3 years here as a Tiger before his 1 year as an Angel in '98, and then moving on to San Diego where his best years as a player came.
So crazy. He was a 1-1 himself.
That's right. You think Phil will want the baseball from this one today? I don't know that he's that kind of guy.
No.
Chopper to short for Neto. Oh, who mishandles it. And that cost the Angels a run. McKinstry scores on a 2-out error by Zach Neto.
Just lost the handle on the transfer.
And 8-3 Angels lead. And now Andy Ibanez.
That's when you love to see Reyes just pick up Zach Neto right now. Get this final out of the inning.
Ibanez is walked, struck out, and fly to center. I don't know that Phil kept any mementos from his playing career. He was an all-star player. Milestone homer balls, or he's not a superstitious or sentimental guy, better stated. Over the middle, a chance for Velasquez on a tough chance. Throw to first is not in time.
Ibanez got down that line real fast. And Velasquez is over on the shortstop side of the bag as a second baseman.
Tough play trying to change directions on the throw, and now Matt Wise is going to come out and chat with Reyes. And it's first and second with a run in and 2 away for Spencer Torkelson. Gives us a chance to bring you a quick word from Land Rover. Well, Gerardo Reyes should have been sitting down in the dugout by now. And the 2-out error led to a run and then an infield single. So now Torkelson. And I don't think anybody on the Angels side is taking anything for granted after the Tigers scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning on Tuesday night to pull even with the Angels and force extra innings. Torkelson was the guy that delivered the tie with a 2-run double. And the first pitch to him from Reyes here is in for a strike.
Exactly right on that, man. You just never, feel comfortable. You just got to think in terms, I got to make a quality pitch, get it out, the offense going once again.
On the corner to put Torkelson behind 0-2.
Yeah, but you get a call like that, you got to go a little bit further off the corner now.
It's Aaron Loop up in the bullpen for the Angels. Perhaps getting ready for Kerry Carpenter, who would bat next. A bouncing ball to third. Rengifo will do it himself, and that'll wrap up the home 7th. 8-3 Angels.
Special place for Halo skipper Phil Nevin after he was traded here. Hit his first career home run here in the city of the Tigers, the Motor City. He especially was emotional about it, talking about it last year in his first return back here as a manager. Made sure that he made to stop by his old haunts and take his old route to the ballpark. Looks a little different, and he made the most of his time here in Michigan. This was yesterday, taking advantage of the rainout, although he had it planned before the game got postponed. He went for a visit in Ann Arbor. That is equipment manager for Michigan, Gary Hazlitt. That is the same equipment manager that Phil had when he was playing football back in Fullerton. So they're good friends, kept in touch. He's also friends with Jim Harbaugh, had a chance to visit with him as well. Phil loves to keep in touch with all kinds of head coaches across all different leagues. So Detroit and Michigan, a very special place for the Angel skipper.
Chasen Shreve, the new pitcher for the Tigers. Erica, before you go on that, I know that Erica had good advice for Phil on his visit out to Ann Arbor and said, wear khakis. They go over big up there. Did you know if he wore the khakis or not?
I don't think he has that in his wardrobe, or at least he didn't pack it. I can't be sure, though, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I would imagine that the equipment manager had a couple pair he could have flipped to him.
He's a good guy. I'm sure he had, a pair for Phil, just in case.
Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Andrew Velasquez, leading things off in the 8th.
By the way, how about that home run hit at the old Tiger Stadium? That's over the 415 sign, the second deck. That's a long, long way for Nev.
What an engineering folly that place was.
Yes.
With the second deck that hung over the outfield in right. Press box that was very much in harm's way.
Yeah, that was almost like right over home plate.
Right over home plate.
Yeah.
And for many years, the images of their legendary radio play-by-play voice, the great Hall of Famer Ernie Harwell, who used to hang a net up over his window. And you were tempted as a visiting broadcaster to walk in there and say, wow, he uses a net? That's kind of a shame. Well, the first one that comes into your booth, you're asking for a net. It got up there hot and quick. And there's one gone for Chasen Shreve here in the 8th.
One of the nicest guys ever.
One gone for Matt Theis. I know there was a whole Save Tiger Stadium Preservation Society that was kind of active here in Detroit for a long time. But they couldn't save it.
That was probably me saying, don't do that.
Oh, you wanted it gone, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Not a lot of great memories.
Demolished in 2008. Ball and 2 strikes to count to Matt Theis. That's into the gap in right center field. And Matt's aboard on his base hit, his first of the series. Hey, a reminder, get your red on and join us for the season with single game tickets. You can buy tickets to upcoming games, including exciting matchups, giveaways, and more. Go to angels.com/tickets for more information.
I got to believe there's going to be some outstanding crowds back at the Big A when Halos come back from that series down in Atlanta.
Yeah, good.
Seattle
homestand.
comes in for 4.
4 with Seattle, 3 with the Giants. Ball and no strikes. The count to Hunter Renfroe, who has had a great day. 3 hits, including a pair of doubles in the opener and a home run here in game 2. 2 balls and no strikes. I know they had an online auction when they tore down Old Tiger Stadium. Try to make a couple of bucks by selling seats, you know, little chunks of the ballpark that you could own for yourself.
I got a seat from the old Comiskey Park in Chicago.
Really?
Yes.
How much that cost you?
Just a few dollars.
But you had to buy it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't a freebie?
No. No, it's still in my office at home.
3 balls and a strike to count to Hunter Renfroe. Full count now. If you have an office or a man cave, like a home garage office, I get it, but it's not the kind of thing that goes into the the tea room.
You don't want to have it in your kitchen? Just hang out?
I don't know that would go over real well in my house. I know that when they tore down County Stadium in Milwaukee, they had an online auction and they printed a brochure for it. And the folks that wrote the brochure, with a great sense of humor, had a little descriptive paragraph about each item that the fans could buy. Here's the 3-2 first of all to Renfroe. And among the things you could purchase was the toilet from the manager's office. And the description read something like this: own the commode upon which Harvey Keene wrote his legendary Harvey's Wallbangers lineups. Once again, you got to have the right house for something like that.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Chopper to third on a very high hop. It eludes the third baseman. Nick Maton just came into the game defensively. He looks up into the sun for that weird chopper. And how you lose a ground ball in the sun is not easy to do, but that's what happened to Nick there.
Ends up being a base hit. So 5 hits in the game for Renfroe. Both games, I should say.
Eduardo Escobar sends a fly ball out to right field. Carpenter's under it to make the catch. Theis going to tag up and get to third. So 2 out runners at the corners now for Luis Rengifo.
By the way, just looking ahead to that series against Toronto, they're going to be facing some tough pitching. Kevin Gausman, Alec Manoah, although he's pitching a little bit better, he's had a tough season. Jose Barrios, too, so it's a tough one.
0-1 to Luis Rengifo, who has a double and a pair of RBI triples in this series. Last of which coming in the second inning here in game 2 of the doubleheader. Into foul territory and out of play.
Yeah, that went 4-11 to right center.
So the 2024 schedule is out, right?
Yep.
Do you recall when the Angels come here next year? Is it summer?
Let me check on you.
Let's hope, because April's in Detroit. Yeah, it is a summer trip. August.
Yes, end of August. Yeah, and they got it right. Toronto to Detroit. Just like this time, you go from Detroit to Toronto.
I mean, your hitters have a chance here when it's July and August, but April here, man, that's tough hitting. Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Luis Rengifo. And that's popped up. Carpenter in right to retire the side 2 left stranded. We head to the home half of the 8th. Angels on top by 5. Angels baseball on Valley Sports is brought to you by Original Shakey's Pizza Parlor, serving food, families, and fun since 1954. By Pacifico, a rich golden lager brewed for those who follow their own path. Pacifico, live life anchors up. And by Jack in the Box, introducing Snoop's Munchie Meal, available for a limited time only at Jack in the Box. What a day for Shohei Ohtani. Complete game shutout, the first of his career in game 1. 2 homers in game 2. And the Angels are 6 outs away from sweeping a series in Detroit.
By the way, that's the 16th multi-home run game of Shohei's career. 4th this season for Shohei.
Generous roster rules around Major League doubleheaders, allowing for an additional player, and that additional player has gotten into the game. Right-hander Zach Weiss pitches here in the bottom of the 8th. He faces Kerry Carpenter, Javi Baez, and Jake Rogers. Patrick Sandoval for 5. Jacob Webb pitched a scoreless inning, as did Gerardo Reyes. That 1 run against Reyes unearned, so we'll call it scoreless in terms of the earned run category. And there's a sharply hit ground ball for Velasquez, and there's 1 away. Now, this day will be remembered as one of the biggest in Shohei Ohtani's career. He's responsible for our Arco top-tier plays of the day.
Yeah, 111 pitches, just 1 hit allowed, 8 punch-outs, first career shutout, and then his second at-bat of the game in game 2, lines it out to left field, and then it's a mammoth home run, 435, exit velocity of 116.9 miles per hour for his second home run.
And Javi Baez is hit by the pitch. Came in and got him.
That was a backup slider.
So that'll bring up Jake Rogers for what may be his last opportunity to extend a career-long hitting streak, sitting on 9 straight games with a hit. 5 homers for the Angels today to run their American League leading total to 160. But since the All-Star break, the Angels' 24 homers leads all of Major League Baseball. 78 runs scored since the All-Star break. Yep. Best in the American League, 3rd in Major League Baseball.
A couple of those years were against the Astros and the Yankees in that stretch.
And ironically, those are two of the teams that the Angels are trying to run down in the wild card race.
Hold on in this league, getting a little bit closer to the Yankees now. To be caught up to them as far as wins.
A win today shaves another half game off the deficit in that wild card pursuit. And the Angels would go to bed 3 back of Toronto with a chance head-to-head against the Jays starting tomorrow.
The place where the Angels have played well at. You got to take care of business here first, though.
4-pitch walk to Jake Rogers. There is an up-to-the-minute look at the wild card standings in the American League. Rays, Astros, and Blue Jays have the 3 chairs as it stands for the moment.
How crazy to think of the Rays as the top wild card team, how good they were for such a long period of time running away with the AL East. But Baltimore, wow.
Timing's everything, man. You'd rather finish strong than start strong. You got Aaron Loup back up in the Angels bullpen for a second time. And I would imagine the leash is not going to be too much longer here.
Especially after getting up hot twice now.
The left-handed hitter due up next, but first it's Miguel Cabrera, first and second, and 1 gone.
Yeah, you know, if you get the ball on the ground, you got a shot at a double play. 8 of them he's hit into this season.
First on the active games played list. First on the active hits list. Homers, runs batted in. And the players who are second in those categories are far behind Cabrera's totals. Joey Votto's next on the active hit list, and he's about 1,000 behind Cabrera. Late that time, a swing and a miss, and Cabrera goes down on 3 pitches. (2,756 games). First among active players. Votto's next at just over 2,000. Giancarlo Stanton is about 180 homers behind him.
So amazing, that career batting average of 307.
Going to have pitching change. The left-handed batter due up. Phil Nevin wants Aaron Loup with 2 on and 2 out in the 8th. A big-ticket item in the trade market. Lucas Giolito coming aboard along with a great reliever in Ronaldo Lopez. They are 4 outs away from sweeping a doubleheader and sweeping a series in Detroit.
Yeah, Lopez, I mean, after you take away the month of April, I mean, every one of those months, opponent's batting average well under 200 against him. He could touch 100 miles an hour with his fastball. Lucas Giolito, solid season again, 3.79 ERA. Averaging over a strikeout per innings pitched, too. He's been really, really good this season.
He'd be a candidate to close games in a pinch if Carlos Estevez is unavailable. Aaron Loup closed the game on Tuesday and earned the save with a perfect 10th inning that included a couple of strikeouts, making his 33rd appearance of the year here tonight.
And knew that he's found that consistent arm slot. He didn't touch 94 the other day. Changeup, cutter, really, really effective.
Zach McKinstry will be the man to face him here with 2 on and 2 out. And Loup starts with a ball that looked like it caught a little of the corner. Instead, it's a ball and no strikes to McKinstry. One-0 pitch is in for a strike.
Take that one after the first one.
One ball and 1 strike to McKinstry, who has just 2 hits in the series, a 2 for 11 set against the Angels. Loop's next pitch is fouled away. Erica has a little bit more on the Angels left-hander.
Well, we talked to him after the game the other night, the big crazy extra innings win that they were able to secure. He said he loves pitching in those situations, but we asked him what's been the biggest difference for him since he came back from the IL back in May with that hamstring injury. He was very honest. He said, well, I'm not as fat. That's literally what he said. I'm not making it up. He said when he went on the IL, he stepped on the scale, didn't like the number that was looking back at him. So he's not sure how much, if much, weight was lost. It was more gaining muscle for him, and he actually was straight from the gym talking to us coming out of that ball game the other night when he was able to secure the win.
I mean, who among us has been happy when we stepped on a scale? I feel you there, Aaron. Fallen 2 strikes to count from Loop to McKinstry.
Not often when we were both couldn't find quite the words there.
I know. All I could do was relate to him. Here's the next 1-2. McKinstry sends that back up the middle, a base hit. Baez is being waved around to score. Here's the throw into third base, not in time on Rogers, and that allows McKinstry to get to second.
No, they called him out though.
Wow!
And they lost their challenge. It would have to be a crew chief review. But it looks like he lifted his leg up, and he's off
right
the base.
there.
Got him. That's a nice play by Rengifo.
Well, credit Luis Rengifo for stick-to-itiveness there. Man alive. Rogers trying to wrap around. He's clearly out.
I mean, it is a crew chief.
This is a crew chief review of the out at third base.
Well, we'll take a look at the same replays, the same angles that they're looking at on 6th Avenue in New York City. That first one made it pretty clear that Rengifo applied the tag at a moment when Rogers' foot could come off the bag at third, and the fans are reacting here in the stadium the same way, with displeasure. Look at the smile on Louis' face.
And it's a matter of, did the runner score? And right here, off the bag. Wow, what a play that was by Rengifo.
I think, Gooby, that the run's going to stay on the board.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. The runner is out.
With that, we take it a break. RBI triples and sneaky play defensively for Louis this afternoon.
Delivered. Shohei delivered it all today. First career Major League shutout, 1-hitter, and then hits 2 home runs in Game 2. Signed, sealed, and delivered. I'm yours.
A lot of quantifiers flying around on social media and through cyberspace on what Shohei's accomplished today. It'll be Zach Neto to lead things off in the Angels' half of inning number 9. Top of the order for the Halos, looking to add on perhaps in a 4-run game. Brendan White is the new pitcher for the Tigers. White went 2 scoreless innings in relief in the opener of this series on Tuesday. He of the herky-jerky style and a quick release, and it's 2 balls and a strike to Neto.
What a great defensive game for Zach Neto today.
That's beaten on the ground to his opposite number. Baez backs up. Boy, a couple of throws have been low from Baez today. And that one picked out nicely by Torkelson for route number 1. You see the line on White making his 17th appearance of the year. So some of that stuff on what Ohtani's accomplished today. The first player in Major League history to pitch a shutout in Game 1 of a doubleheader and hit even 1 home run in Game 2. And Shohei added another homer, so the first player ever to do that. And then there was this one as well, and all this from Sport Radar. The Angels have played 663 games as a part of a doubleheader that was entering the second game today. And Shohei is just the second Angels pitcher with a complete Game 1 hitter in any doubleheader game. Bob Turley did it in 1963 against the White Sox. We're going back into rarefied air here. And like you said earlier, Gooby, it feels like we do that every time Shohei grabs a bat or touches a baseball.
Yes, it's unreal.
Michael Stefanik came on to pinch hit an Ohtani spot in the 7th, and he draws a 1-out walk here in the 9th. One on, one out against Brendan White in inning number 9, and that'll give Mickey Moniak another chance.
Mickey Moniak picks up an assist on that throw to Rengifo to finish off the last inning.
Mickey takes a strike. Moniak's first inning double against Matt Manning extends Major League Baseball's longest hitting streak to 16 straight. He adds another hit here in the 9th. He's going to wrap Stefanik around to third, first and third with one away.
Gives Taylor Ward an opportunity to pick up an RBI after a huge first game. 17-game hit streak for Moniak.
A strike to Ward. Taylor homered twice in game 1 of the doubleheader. 2 of the 5 Angels homers in this doubleheader today, increasing their American League leading total to 160 in just over 100 games. A ball and a strike to count to Ward. The new guy's up. What do you think?
If the Angels are able to score another run here, I think Maria comes in the game.
It's going to load the bases. You probably couldn't ask for a better, here's your new team. Here's the ball with a big lead for Ronaldo Lopez.
Yep.
But I see what you're saying. He's more of a higher leverage guy, and maybe you want to keep him fresh for the Toronto series.
Yep.
He just got here today, just got off a plane.
And that's going to be a major battle up there in Toronto.
Patrick O'Neill, Bobby Valentine standing by with Angels Live, presented by OC Navigator. Complete recap and reactions to what we're hoping is going to be a series sweep here in Detroit. Andrew Velasquez, the batter, with the bases loaded and only one away. When the Tigers bat in their half of the 9th, they're going to have the number 9 hitter, Nick Maton, and then Vierling and Ibanez.
Keep in mind, coming into this series against the Tigers, they've been playing pretty good baseball. They were 8-4.
That's right. They had some real momentum coming out of the break. They'd been pitching well. 0-2 the count to Velasquez. And a swing in the tip foul, hung on to by Jake Rogers, and Velasquez is a strikeout victim.
I think they're saying it was a foul ball.
Yeah, now home plate umpire saying it was tipped in the dirt.
Yeah. You can definitely see that baseball hit the dirt.
Yeah, first call was strikeout, and then never mind. Ooh, man, White
tough.
just missed there.
Oh.
2 balls and no strikes. Check that. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll get it right. And now Velasquez is struck out. 2 away.
That nice last at bat lined a single to center field.
How about one more knock to take this out of slam range?
Yes.
Not that anybody's so worried about that, but again, this is a Tigers lineup that scored 4 in the 9th on Tuesday. There it is.
You ask and you shall receive.
Checks up in front of Carpenter. 2 runs will score. 10-4 Angels. Good, buddy.
I knew you were going to say that.
Couldn't resist.
I just knew you were going to say that. Well, hitting that ball on the line there. Aggressive swing for Matt Thaiss. 2 hits today. Game 1, Chad Wallach picked up a knock. Called a great game behind the plate for Shohei.
And now Hunter Renfroe. Oh, and 2 the count to Renfroe, who again has had a great day. 3 hits, including 2 doubles in game 1. 2 hits, including a homer in game 2.
Getting hot right when you need them, especially when you're going to Toronto.
Got a whole Jerry Reed theme going on here. When you're hot, you're hot. 10-4, good, buddy.
Stay hot, Matty V.
Yeah. Two balls and 2 strikes on Renfroe. On a day on the schedule where there are only 5 games, including this doubleheader, counting for 2 of them, I would venture a guess that a lot of people are going to be talking about Shohei Ohtani. There's another knock and another run. 11-4 Angels.
And 3 hits in this game for Renfroe. Yeah, everyone's noticing now. After that trade last night and playing baseball as well as anybody in the game. Best record out of the break.
Well, you said this earlier. Hunter Renfroe is staying on the breaking ball today, and this could be a really jump-off day, a big point to circle on the calendar for Hunter Renfroe, getting it back together and looking a lot like he did in April and May when he was driving in runs like a freak.
And again, another base hit with a runner in scoring position for Renfroe. That's good to see that. Part of it is staying on that breaking ball. He's going to see a lot of that. Pitchers usually go to the breaking ball with runners in scoring position, staying on that, use the middle of the field. You're going to be effective.
Eduardo Escobar, his homer today. Solo shot that came to lead off the 4th. 2 balls and a strike. So now what? Now that you got the 3 runs and you're going to take an at least 7-run lead to the bottom half of the 9th. Does that mean Berea or Lopez?
Yeah, I think Berea.
Yeah.
I just think that.
Well, we'll have an answer for that question shortly. Another big inning for the Halos. 3 outs away from a series sweep. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Angel Stadium. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Well, one last piece of business. It is Jaime Berea trying to finish this with the final 3 outs of the day to kick off this 9-game 3-city road trip with a sweep here in Detroit.
Good chance to go 5 games over 500.
Jaime making his 22nd appearance of the year. Last time out Saturday against the Pirates. Retired all 6 he faced. He'll get Nick Maton and then Fierling and Ibanez in the Tigers' half of the 9th. Berea's first pitch in relief misses up and away. 11 runs on 13 hits for the Angels. And including the fun in game 1, 5 homers today. Two balls and no strikes. Popped up. And it's Theis watching it drift out of play. Oh, man. You know, when the adult boxes a foul ball and then it bounces to a kid, it's almost like the universe putting it in the right hands. That's how it should have gone.
Yes.
Two balls and a strike to Maton. Maton entered as a pinch hitter in the 7th. You almost feel like A.J. Hinch plays that second base position in a pure platoon based on the handedness of the starter, and there's ball 4. Well, we saw Ronaldo Lopez up in the bullpen. His Angel debut will have to wait for the weekend in Toronto, we'll assume. 43 games with the Pale Hose this season, but pay most attention to the numbers he amassed after the month of April. He got off to an uneven start, but has been really good of late. ERA under 2 in his last 24 games. Opponent's batting average, which is among the lowest in the American League since May 24th.
Yeah, 148. I mean, that is a long period of time.
And understand that every team in a race is looking for relief help. Every single team. That's a bouncer for Rengifo, could be 2. Relay back to first, and the Angels get them both. Detroit down to their final out tonight.
That is the 4th 5-4-3 double play turn in this doubleheader for the Angels.
Andy Ibanez represents the last chance for Detroit. Could not have scripted a better beginning to a potentially season-defining road trip.
Everything going as planned. Pitching solid. The offense has been great. Getting guys back. Getting guys close to being back, too. You might see Brandon Drury at some point, potentially up in Toronto or Atlanta. Mike Trout starting to grab a bat. Once he's comfortable with that, it'll be quick for him.
Ball and a strike is the count to Andy Ibanez.
And Lucas Giolito on the mound tomorrow night up in Toronto.
A chopper over the mound. Velasquez to wrap up the day and wrap up the series. The Angels sweep 3 in Detroit after claiming game 2 of the doubleheader, an 11-4 win in the nightcap.
Yeah, it is a great game and series so far, and back-to-back games for Hunter Renfroe with 7 total hits. Crushing the baseball, 4 home runs for the Halos here in game 2. Sweep the doubleheader. Shohei Ohtani, back-to-back at bats, home runs for him. After his first career shutout, Patrick Sandoval picks up the W today. This is an all-around solid effort offensively today. 13 hits for the Halos.
A full game whittled away in the chase for a wild card spot. The Angels go to bed down by only 3 for the last remaining wild card position. And tonight's Toyota player of the game, who else? Same guy that was player of the game in game 1, Shohei Ohtani.
Incredible. Incredible. 111 pitches, shutout, game 1, and come back. Hit a home run to left, hit a home run to right. 38 home runs on the season for Shohei Ohtani. He's pretty good, I think.
I think it's going to work out for him here. Your up to the moment American League wildcard standings. Again, there are only 3 other games in the league tonight. None of them involve teams on that page. Angels just 3 back of the Blue Jays with a chance head-to-head in Toronto starting tomorrow. Many candidates for player of the game. We chose Ohtani in both ends. Hunter Renfroe also with a great doubleheader day. He's standing by with Erica.
Matt, thanks very much. Hunter, you guys know more than anybody how important every game is for you right now. To be able to come in here with the sweep, started this long road trip, what's it mean for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Obviously we made some good trades last night and or earlier this morning, whatever it was, and we look forward to those guys coming here. And obviously Lopez is here, so great to see him. But it was a tough day. I mean, get 2 9-inning games. It was a tough day for anybody. But going up there and showed up and pitched great. Shohei did an incredible job first game throwing the ball, and obviously came out swinging the bat second game. So it was pretty fun to watch. But great series for us. We got to keep it going.
I asked Taylor Ward this earlier. Did it feel different coming into the clubhouse today, knowing the vote of confidence the front office gave you guys with the trades last night?
Oh, for sure. I mean, anytime they have confidence in us to do what we got to do and add pieces and spend money is obviously always enjoyable and encouraging. But we knew what we had to do. We knew we had to go out there and win, and we said it from the start of the year. We've got to go. We can do what we can. We're capable of doing anything we want to do, and especially winning the last game of the year. But we just got to go out there and do it. You got to go there and battle and go out there and grind, and we swung the bat really well this series. We got to keep it going.
Back-to-back 3-hit games for you, the double-doubles early, the home run, and the nightcap tonight. Did you find something today? You did it all in one day, but did you find something today?
No, I mean, I feel good. I felt good first game. Had some stuff I've been dealing with a little bit, injury-wise, but I've been playing through it, just getting through it, and obviously I feel good now, and I got to keep it going, keep going to the cage, keep working every day, and keep grinding.
Last one for you quickly. I know you mentioned Shohei, but he complete game shutout, 2 home runs today. I mean, what do you guys say in the dugout? I don't even know what to say.
I mean, it's incredible, and you come to the field every day and see what he does. It's just eye-opening. He does something new every day that you're like, wow, he's the best player in baseball. It's kind of thing, and he's very special. We're very blessed to be able to see him every day and watch him and play, be a teammate, and obviously he's here to stay for a little bit, and he's happy to be here.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, Hunter. Nice job. All right, guys.
Erica, thanks. Boy, just could not have scripted once again a better start to a real season-defining road trip. 11-4 win in the nightcap. Angels sweep the series.
Way to go, Matty. Bringing some luck here. Sweet 3-gamer.
There we go.
Way to go.
For Erica Weston, Mark Gubazov, Matt Vasgersian saying so long. Thanks for joining us. Patrick O'Neill, Bobby Valentine, and Angels Live presented by OC Navigator is coming up next.